Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Sorry, we're just double checking character's age before we talk to them. No, that's a joke. Nothing was said before stream. We actually don't talk. We sit in complete silence and edge. Folks, we're here. This is Local Chat. I'm your host, Will Crosby. Joining me this week, as always, my co-host, the board beneath my legs, the spring to my bounce, the hop to my pop. Karl from Save Data's here.
Hello. Watch Saving Throw.
Watch Saving Throw. The logo is made by Karen. And also joining us for the far west, far south of America. Wait, it's Ian Gibson.
That's right. I'm here in the southern reaches of America, in Florida.
What is the south point of Florida the most southern point of the U.S.? Other than Hawaii, probably.
I think Key West is, yes.
It's not like Baja California. No, because that's Mexico technically, isn't it?
That's Mexico.
Yeah,
Baja's Mexico.
We should get the rest of that
sure
back from them. We gotta go talk about.
We took the Gulf back.
Yeah. You know, it's so much shit has happened that I have forgotten about the Gulf of America. It is.
Yes.
It is like the Trump presidency is a scroll wheel. It's a doom scroll for MAGA people to get like happy. So they like doom scroll past the Gulf of America. Oh, I'm happy. And then they doom scroll past tariffs. Oh, I'm happy. Like, you know, it's just like nothing's meant to last. It's just to make people happy in the moment.
Yeah, you know, if you don't think about what they are getting, it is kind of nice that those crazies are finally getting what they want. Getting the floor out of the water. You know,
get your crazies.
Like genuinely. Imagine if you spent your entire life obsessing about this thing and you're just like, it's gonna fucking happen, and there was like zero chance it's gonna happen, but the right nut job gets in office to do the weird thing you always wanted to happen. You're like, I can't believe it's actually happening, and everybody else is like, yeah, we can't fucking believe it either.
I love the leopards ate my face people, because it's really funny and like I didn't think this was gonna happen, and it's great to like hear those stories. But I love the double downers even more, because they're so you're just like, dude, what world are you living in? Or what drugs are you using? Because I want to be there. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wild state of times here in America.
Great.
Don't vote. Just don't vote at all.
Don't be here. And also don't come here. Don't come here. It's not a good time to come here either.
Yeah, come somewhere else and then come here after that.
Do it.
Video games, Switch 2 pre-orders. Folks, who got them? Either of you get Switch 2 pre-order?
I did not. We wanted to do the Best Buy midnight opening, so the midnight pre-orders, I just stayed on Best Buy to try and get that. Didn't get that. I tried the GameStop in the morning, and their website like went down for like 45 minutes and didn't get it there. And I probably could have very easily gone to my local GameStop and gotten a pre-order. Apparently the in-store GameStop pre-orders were pretty easy, but I wasn't able to make it there that day. But like Will and I were talking about it last night. It's hard to be upset about not having to spend $550, you know?
Yep.
And also I know they're making a shitload of them. So if a pre-order pops up and I get it, cool. I think on launch day, I'll go to a Costco and see if they've got it, because they're doing launch day. And if not, I'll just get it when it's available. If I'm a couple weeks behind, if I'm a month behind, not a big deal. I know it's not going to be as bad as it was last time, and I know it's not going to be as bad as NVIDIA graphics cards. So I'm not like, it's weird. I'm like in this calm where I'm like, I don't have to have it on launch day, whereas normally I would be all about it. I don't know. Karl, how's your Switch 2 luck been so far?
I'm not locked whatsoever. I just spent a shit ton of money on a new PC. Did not even think about it.
You know,
2.
the good choice.
Yeah. I mean, you're only missing out on two things, which is Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Everything else is going to be on Switch 1, like Metroid Prime 4. So it's also like we needed a Switch 2, and those two games do look great, but it's also not a huge push to get a Switch 2 in that launch window either.
Yeah. It's I mean, it'd be, I don't know, you need to want to have a Switch 2, which I'm getting the feeling that it's not it's not the console to have yet. So it's not like Halo Combat Evolves came out and you need an Xbox sort of thing. I think it'll get there eventually. I was thinking about it. I got a pre-order. Specifically, we did the Best Buy so we could go pick it up at midnight and shoot some stuff. And then I also have a Target one that I actually got before the Best Buy one. Thankfully, unlike Zach from Save Data, didn't get the cancel and then uncancel and whatever his stuff was.
Yeah.
So I have those, but honestly thinking, I don't know if I knew the situation with the Switch One, which is I had a pre-order, I canceled it, and then it took me like a month and a half to get one, and I really wanted one. I would pre-order, but the way it's sounding like with you talking about stuff, I think they're going to be way more available than the Switch One and all this other stuff. So I don't know if I would have felt the same way if I cancel both these pre-orders and won't be able to get one or do get one. But like you said, as soon as I saw Mario Kart World for me, I was just like, yes, I want that.
Yeah.
That is firing the things in my brain that make me want this. Especially because, like, I'm always trying to find new multiplayer and co-op games for Karen and I to play. So I'm just like, okay, that's a lock. That's a Mario Kart World and all this stuff and stuff on the Switch too. And we can play that in Mario Party and all this sort of stuff. So that was the main thing that led me towards it. And I'm excited for it. Switch 2, everybody. Yep. June 5th. It's a month away. Month and 4 days. Wild time. Wild time.
Shit.
We'll be doing hopefully a stream.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're going to try and do a Pixelate episode for the Switch 2 launch, and then we're going to try and do a launch day stream in person. So I'm going to fly up there and we'll have some fun. Kyle should be there too. We're going to try and, I'll say it out loud. We haven't even talked to him. We'll try and rope some Save Data and other folks in the New York area to come hang out on that launch day live stream for a bit. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Speaking of pumped, I went, oh God, I'm pumped. Actually, I wrote this down a while. I forget. Now with local chats every 2 weeks, it's so hard I'm so hard. You guys are hard. I made sure you sent me pictures before the chat just to make sure we're all on the same level. I always forget things that happen, or I'll write down something and then 2 weeks will go by. Karen and I went to Williamsburg, Virginia, and like, I don't even remember enough of going there to like really want to talk about it, but I did write it down here in the notes, so I figured I would at least address the allegation. Yes, what?
Was it worth the trip? Did you enjoy it?
I don't know what is wrong with Karen and I, but we always travel when it's extremely hot, and I hate it. And it's
you fucked up.
Twice it wasn't on purpose, and once it was on purpose, which is when we went to Italy. Rome was 105 degrees.
Jesus Christ.
Thankfully, there was nobody out because it was so hot, which was really nice.
That's good.
But I now am impervious to all other weather heat because it was the worst thing ever. But yeah, Williamsburg was, it was like 85 in Colonial Williamsburg, which doesn't have much like tree cover. And of course, humid as it is down there. Which was not fun. But overall, I didn't know Colonial Williamsburg was this huge, like, colonial town. Like, I didn't know it was as big as it was. It's technically free. You can just walk around and go see all the stuff. You just need tickets to go into the houses and, like, tours and stuff like that. But you can walk through the whole town and do everything for free. I think you can even go to the restaurants for free. We went to... This was kind of the only, other than like just seeing a colonial town, the cool thing that we did was we ate at a tavern, which was serving food family style, which just meant if you like something, you could get more of it. Which is, I guess,
it's not family style.
Well, in the sense that you didn't need to pay more for it, you could just have more of it if you wanted to, I think. And I was like, okay. So
like a la carte kind of,
yeah. But that was really neat. They made old style recipes. So there was this delicious salad with like aged cheddar and candied walnuts, and like this. Caesar there was a salad. Thick ranch or a like thinner balsamic that you could put on it. That's separate, whatever you wanted. Then there was fried chicken that was amazing, very very good. Then they had olived beef, which was. And it's called olived because of the way it's prepared, which is they took flank steak, rolled it up and you put stuff. The colonial people used to put like vegetables or whatever stuff they had inside of it in this like, so it made like an olive with the that thing in it. But they did that with some sort of stuffing inside, and they like even though it was flank steak, they like malleted it or banged it, hammered it out, and then rolled it up with the stuffing inside. So it was very like almost like chuck roast consistency, like stew beef. So it's just like falling apart.
Oh, gotcha.
And that had a really good sauce on it. And then they had what did they call it? They called mashed potatoes like potato pudding or something like that. It was some
Mash.
It was some like, no, it wasn't mash. It was like some cool term for it. So but other than that, we just walked around, took pictures. We went saw, what else did we see? Nothing else really.
George Washington.
Yep, we saw George Washington. He's still there. The spirit of the man. They did have a lot of cool models there. They had like a model of the whole town that they like built out. Yeah, a lot of swimsuit models. That were so hot, man. And it's just neat. It's a town set before the Revolutionary War too. So they're like talking about like the keeping the king's peace and like how most of the fines people paid were because they forgot to go to church, because it was illegal to not go to church once every at least I couldn't remember. It might be once a month or once every 4 months. But I think you had to like have a written, almost like a doctor's note if you didn't go to church. Like you had to go to the priest and like they would be like, okay, say these prayers at home and stuff like that. And one guy, we were in the courthouse and the cool thing they do is like in these rooms they have like a spiel and stuff, but they keep being like, hey, just ask us questions, like whatever question. Like we went to. Off the side of the governor's mansion is just a little kitchen with 3 people just cooking colonial food. And I was like, what do you do with the food?
Cool.
And they're like, we just leave it here for people to look at. Which part of me was like, that's really wasteful. But the other part of me is like, it's cool that you're like preparing it in all these old methods and putting it out. And that way they don't have to get like ServSafe certified and all that sort of stuff. They can just be there, cook using the old methods. And the ladies just like, yeah, ask questions. So at the courthouse, I can't remember what the guy asked, but it was something about like, he's made some sort of comment about like getting away with beating your wife back then. And the guy who was running the thing is just like, yeah, you would go to jail for that in our time. Like, especially at this time, the marriage is a contract between you and your wife in the eyes of like the king and all that sort of stuff. Like you would get fucked up, especially in a small town city like this. Like, and the guy like shut up, and I was like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
That's a wild question to ask.
I know. I could not believe it. And I like, the reason I can't really remember it is because I only heard the guy's response to it. I didn't hear the question. And I was just like, and the tone of the guy answering, I was like, Jesus, dude. So overall, it was a super fun trip. Karen planned it all, and the only other thing I will shout out is we stopped at a sushi place in Arlington on the way down, and hands down the most delicious sushi I've ever had in my entire life. It was so good. The sashimi and all the different, we just got like the chef special platters, but one of their appetizers was jalapeno boom, and it was like a long thin jalapeno with all the seeds taken out, and then I think it was spicy tuna, like cream cheese, the tempura, and that whole thing was like oven roasted.
So kind of like a jalapeno popper, but like a Japanese style jalapeno popper.
So good. And then we ordered a bottle of it was plum wine, which my closest approximation for that is, it was basically, you know how like mead is a little thick and sweet?
Yeah.
It was basically that, but like more plum notes. And that was also really delicious.
Okay.
So that was my little Williamsburg excursion. It was fun. It was hot, but it was a good time overall.
Yeah, that's cool. I heard about it a lot living in Maryland, but never actually went down there. I do want to go hearing you describe it, because one time in elementary school or middle school, we went to like a colonial experience at a place in Maryland, you know, where they have like buildings set up and like reenactors and people acting and pretending like they're, and you walk around and see things. And that was cool. But whenever I heard about Williamsburg, in my head, I was always like, oh, it's like that place we went to. But hearing that there's so much more to it, now I actually do kind of want to go.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot. We went to Monticello as well, which is Thomas Jefferson's house. And that was really neat. And that's another place that we only paid for tickets to get in, and you can just walk around the grounds. And I took a bunch of photos. That place was cool. Just like seeing, like all that he was obsessed with building a fridge, which it like had quotes from his granddaughter complaining about her grandfather's fridges and how it would always melt the ice cream because he like loved ice cream and would always make it all the time. By he, I mean his thousands of slaves that he owned.
Yeah.
which is very funny because all of that stuff is clearly attached on once they went woke. No, but once they are like, hey, we should probably address this.
Should address this. Yeah.
All this stuff. So there's like a little like they have like the houses that you can go see, and they have like all of like, I don't know if these were there before, but it has like the stories of the slaves and stuff, which are genuinely actually interesting. So I'm like, I hope you had these before it like people brought it all up, because there was like so many people who were like, and not to say Thomas Jefferson was the greatest guy or the worst guy, but all the people you read about, they were all freed by Jefferson afterwards. And I'm like, yeah, I guess after like 60 years of indentured servitude. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a win for you, Tom. But his like his storage system, he would only buy wine in bottles because it was harder to fake. And like if you put it in a keg or a cask, it was easier to like fill it with water, so it may taste sort of like wine, but with bottles it had to be like more pure. He had like a early dumbwaiter system, like I mentioned, ice cream and like all this stuff. So, and he designed the whole house, which is kind of neat, because it's a cool looking house. Anyways, Virginia, Williamsburg, sushi. That was my trip a couple weeks ago. Anyone have anything else they want to chit chat about? Any hot topics? Yep, dead faces. Just dead faces. There we are. I guess we'll talk about video games. Karl, I don't want to talk anymore.
Hello?
I want you to talk. I want you to speak. I want to consume your voice with my ear mouths. Please tell me about the video games
For free.
For free.
Yeah, let's do that. So I forgot what I played. Here we are. Okay. So first off, a game that I think they announced maybe like a year or two ago, called Tiny Glade. It was on one of the Wholesome Directs kind of thing. And it is the cutest thing. It is lit. This might not be, I don't know if it is your guys' thing or not. It is just, there's like, I think like 8 or 9 different kind of biomes, and you just build. You build shit and you do whatever the hell you want. Every single day, they do like a specific kind of preset build that you do things around. And it is the most meticulously done thing. It is so cute. It is so adorable. If you like carve a hole under a sheep, it pulls out an umbrella and starts like riding the umbrella until it reaches the ground. And like when you build out the walls, you can see the tiles kind of forming and clunking around until they form the wall. And like when you make a wall and put a path through it, it makes like a little arch. It's like so meticulously designed, and so like it was very fun. It's kind of one of those games where I'm like, I kind of want to chill for a second. I don't really want to worry about story. I don't want to worry about like gameplay and shit. I just want to like put on the thing with chill music. It for some reason makes my PC go, or like a lot of the fans. My PC hates Tiny Glade, but it is a very nice, chill, cozy little game that I'm having a lot of fun with. It is simple. There's not much to it, but it's fun.
Yeah, we tried it out a little bit during when they had a demo up for Steam Next Fest a little while ago, and it was definitely, like you said, a chill, cozy, comfy game where it's not like there's no pressure, there's no clear specific goals that you're struggling to hit. It's literally just like, here's like a refined sandbox design cozy game. Just a little delight for you to have. And I love games that are like that. They're kind of, it's like there's this it's like there are rules there's rules in writing and in screenwriting and in games, and one of them is like there must always be a conflict. It doesn't matter if you're writing like a PG family movie, there has to be a conflict. That's the only way to drive the plot forward. And it feels like there's something similar in games where it's like there always has to be an objective, there has to be a challenge, there has to be a fail state. And I love the games like this that are just like, nah, we're not going to have any of that, but we're still going to have something that's enthralling and enjoyable for you to do. We don't have to have conflict, we don't have to have a fail state. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Fail state.
I was thinking that fail state. Speaking of fail state, Control. I play Control is one of those games that I had my segue in my Epic Games library, and I just never touched. I was like, might as well, new PC, new game. I haven't finished it yet. It's my thing. Have you guys played Control?
Yeah. It sounds like you're not liking it. And tell us why, because I had problems with it too, and I did not finish it.
Okay. The gameplay of Control is very fun. It is it's not, the most technically like swift or like neatly designed thing, but it's fun. As you pick up thing, throw a body, do thing. It's fun. The story is too much, but not enough at the same time. It's like there's a lot of lore, there's a lot of pre-existing shit, but it doesn't quite give me enough to the point where like I care about the characters I'm looking at right now. It's like, that's an interesting idea, I guess, with the weird supernatural elements. The objects of power and like the light that you turn on and off and it teleports you. Like those are cool. That's like, oh, okay, what's happening here? And then it's like, oh, we have a brother, he's somewhere, I don't know what's happening. This main character is a bit weird. Is she talking to us? Oh no, she's talking to the thing in her head. She's a director. Cool. I get, like, it's just like it's fun. It's not a not fun game. It's a game that doesn't I don't know. I can't really put my finger. It's just it's not captivating enough.
It's like,
no, I think you nailed it. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's like a game where they already expect you. It's written and acted in a way that they already expect you to be really into these people.
Yeah.
Where like there was none of the lead up where you got to know these people and fell in love with them. It's like they started on season 2 or 3 of a game, and you're like, oh, I know all these people. Oh, that's a funny, quirky thing. And I think that as I finished it, and I really like Control as a video game, but I totally agree with that. It's just like, it's a disjointed part of that game. And overall, I don't think the story's that great. I think the world building of that game is the best part about it.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah. I think for me, I didn't have as many problems with the story as you guys had, but your complaints are valid. It was more like I was so enthralled by the lore and the world building and the mystery kind of going on that I was okay following that and being enraptured by that. But the gameplay itself, like within combat, it's fine, right? It's enjoyable at times. But then they had that system where you would clear an area and then you would get an alert that would be like, the bad guys are back in this area. You have to go re-clear this area. And that's fucking terrible, quite frankly. That's the reason why I stopped playing the game. I was like, it was not enough for me to clear an area. I kept having to do these same fights over and over again. Sometimes they would take you through an area and then you'd have to go back through the area to get back to the main world and have to redo some of these fights because they would just spawn back in. And that really pushed me away, where I was like, I'd love to do more of this world, more of this story, but I'm sick and tired of this combat. I don't want to keep having to do this over and over again. So I think I dropped it about halfway through. And I never finished Alan Wake 2 either, which is kind of my problem with Remedy, is that they do pieces of games incredibly well. I don't think they have mastered the full package yet. It's always there is, even for people who really love these games, even when you press them a bit, they're like, yeah, that wasn't that good. And yeah, that part of the game or that mechanic is not that good, but there's something there that makes them really like it and pull them through, which is fine. You know, you can have a fantastic game that is not amazing across the board, but just imagine if Remedy did have an amazing game that was fantastic across the board. It would be it would be like one of the best
Alan Wake
games
1.
ever made. So it's like that's kind of my frustration with Remedy, is that they do something so well and it's not the same thing. It's not like it's always the story, it's always the gameplay or whatever. It's just they can't quite do a full amazing package. I mean, I guess the closest they got was probably Max Payne 1. Max Payne 1 was really, really good.
I mean,
yeah,
Alan
it was
Wake,
Max Payne.
Alan Wake 2 is a very good game. I think Alan Wake 2 is probably better. Is their best game other than... I mean, Alan Wake 1's pretty good. But Alan Wake 1's
We never really
clunky.
talked about this. But my problem I had with Alan Wake 2 was I played a couple hours of Alan Wake 2, and I was at work one day, and it was the middle of the day, and I was like, I literally had this random thought, and it was just like, man, I can't wait to watch another episode of Alan Wake 2. And I was like, wait a minute. It's not a TV show. It's a video game. And that's the fucking problem with Alan Wake 2, is that all the video game parts of it where you are in control and you're trying to do things, or you're having to fight or investigate or walk around, suck shit. Like, it is not enjoyable playing that game, but experiencing that game, fantastic story, fantastic characters, fantastic weirdness. The act of actually playing it, especially how much they have turned UI into 3D spaces, where they're like, oh, this is your lodge, this is your mind palace. And you're like, cool, what are the mechanics behind this? And it turns out there's not mechanics. They just took like 2D generic menus, or like a journal that you would have in any other game, and now you have to interact with it in a 3D space. And it's like, that was my problem with Alan Wake 2, was it was, again, fantastic world, really compelling story. The actual act of playing it sucks shit. I just wanted to watch that game. Every time I had to do something, I was like, fuck this, get me to the next cutscene. That's what I want in that game.
Yeah, I can see that. I really...
Yeah.
It's funny, I really enjoy playing Alan Wake 2. Like, I think... And that's not to say you're not right. Like, I think there's a watchable version of that. But I think the intersection of video game and live action in that game itself is really cool, because it plays with that interaction. That interaction, it's not like Quantum Break, is that it? Where it's just like was a TV show and a game. It is you are actively like Alan Wake's in the TV, coming out of it. There's visual people. They did that, like that smoke visual with like actual live action and all that sort of stuff. And so it plays with that in a way that I think is cool, that you wouldn't get that same effect if it was just a TV show, or if all the cutscenes were a video game. But I definitely understand what you're saying, because it is sort of that weird space where you're like, I like something is wrong with it. But I think at the end of the day, we all come back to like immaculate vibe, world building. Like, I almost want them not in this way, but like I want them to be like, hey, there's a From Software game coming out, and instead of like George R.R. Martin, it's like, oh, Remedy's doing all the world building. But not I'm not saying a From Software game, but like a really great studio, and they're like, but Remedy and Sam Lake is doing all the story and shit. Like, that would be kind of the ideal marriage there.
Ideal marriage.
Yeah. What else have you been playing, Karl?
Something I think one of the first local chats I was on, I talked a lot about Cyberpunk. So I wouldn't say full circle, because I think I mentioned this game every now and then on here. But Phantom Liberty, I haven't touched it, didn't buy it, didn't anything from last year up until now. No real reason, just didn't have time. Finally pulled the trigger, I think last Friday or Saturday, and I finished it on Monday. Holy shit! Have both of you touched it, or not really?
I played it for 2 hours, and then I looked up if I could refund an Xbox DLC purchase, and I could not.
Okay. Ian is insane.
I haven't played Cyberpunk since I beat it the first time it came out.
That game was fucking terrible at launch.
Listen, I'll give you at launch. It was hard.
It was bad.
At launch, it was hard.
It's my No Man's Sky. It's my Ian's No Man's Sky, because Ian hates No Man's Sky because of all of the shit.
I was just about to say, playing Phantom Liberty for me was weird because that was the first time I touched Cyberpunk since launch. So they had a bunch of the patches and quality of life and big changes they made to it. And I was like, I see what they've done here. And I see that they have made improvements here, but I was not enjoying it at all. And I could not tell how much of that was me not enjoying current Cyberpunk or just giving me like PTSD from having to play it the first fucking time and hating it the entire time. So like, I don't think I can properly judge Phantom Liberty and Cyberpunk now because of how fucking terrible it was playing it for 22 hours at launch, you know?
I will say, like, I'm not going to talk a lot about the changes they made with like the base game, but base game did become more playable. The one thing they couldn't change was the one thing the base game had really going for it that just didn't really get fucked up was the story. The story was really fucking good. But the story at certain points, you'd be like, okay, they wanted to do more here. They just didn't have time. And like these characters are really interesting. And I wish we had more to talk about with these characters, more story with these characters, just not enough time. With Phantom Liberty, I think the best way to explain Phantom Liberty is what if Cyberpunk had enough time to be made? Because Phantom Liberty like gives you more, like it story-wise, because gameplay doesn't really change much, but story-wise, it's like, okay, what if we give you these four-ish like main side characters, and we take our time in telling you what these characters are about, what their story is, and where they came from, to the point where, as a guy who fucking loves the base game, I can't touch the base game anymore. The base game is like, oh god, I have to get, because the new region that's unlocked is called Dogtown. It's like, I have to get out of Dogtown now, god damn it.
Street?
Dog Street. The game is it's a espionage type of thing, throws you in the midst of a political war. You get to choose if you get involved in it or not, and how involved you get in it or not. And one of those things where at the end you get to choose, it changes a bit of the endings, and it's like, do you side with these people who are like really cool people that you enjoy but are motivationally weird, or do you side with the one character that you think might help you and you want to help her? Which do you choose? Do you fuck over the side that's been helping you from the beginning, or do you help someone that kind of you're not sure what her motivations are, but like in her place, you have been that character in the entire game. That new character is what you were in the base game. So what right do you have to not help her? It's a whole thing. The side missions are fucking amazing. It's just it's one of those games where I don't know if you guys have this. I've been noticing this in recent years. I have what I've been calling PGD, which is post-game depression, where it's like, oh, I finished the game. Fuck. Yeah. And I'll sit for a few days where I'm like, I feel kind of numb now. And then I regulate again. It's one of those experiences.
It's like finishing a good
I would
book.
really recommend. Yeah, exactly. I really recommend you go back to it if you haven't refunded it.
No, I couldn't refund it, but I will not go back to it. I really do think it was. I played the first like 60, 70 minutes, and I was like, I was like, I can't tell if this is trash or if it's just reminding me of how trash the base game was. Like,
did you see Idris Elba at least?
Interest.
I've seen him before.
I don't even think I got that far. I think I got to the plane crash and then like the rescue after the plane crash, and that's it.
You played the intro to the DLC.
It was like 70 minutes. It was enough. Yeah. And I was touching things. I was inventorying, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't enjoy this.
Okay.
Someday I'll go back to it, but I just thoughts of falling under the world and all sorts of awful things. A fucking game.
The one last thing I'll say about the DLC is lengthwise, I could be wrong. This is what I'm estimating. It's lengthwise, the main story, about 12 actually. No, the main story is, excluding the main game's prologue, because it takes fucking 2 hours to get to the title screen in the main game. Like title screen up until end of the game, just the main story. I think the DLC is about the same length, maybe a little bit shorter. So it does take a good amount of time.
Because it really was like 22 hours to beat the main game.
Yeah, the pure main story. Yeah.
Because I did a little bit of side quests. I did enough of the side quests to be like, okay, these side quests are fucking worthless. And then from their main story, and it was 22 hours. Yeah.
Agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, it is
God,
Good
just
shit.
remember that game was so fucking bad that Sony stopped sale on it for months.
It was. It absolutely was.
They
Yeah.
literally had
Oh
to
God.
pull
Yeah.
it
It did pull
off
it
the
from
shelves
stores. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I
until
forgot
the
about
summer.
Not
that
just
one.
PS4. It's PS4 and PS5. They were like, get this shit out of here. We're not selling this till you fix it.
What's ironic
Just
is my
barely
brother
enough.
got me that for like Christmas of 2020. Is that when that? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Christmas
2020,
2020. I was like, oh shit, he got me a PS4 game, and I opened it. I was like, there's no way this asshole got me Cyberpunk. And then I just turned completely on the game. But it was funny for like a few days. I was like, well,
It was
he
a real
fucking hates me.
tune for doing that.
Yeah,
it was
dude. It was Nova.
because I remember I really wanted to get it because that was the console launch. So I had the Series X,
Yeah.
and I was like, I bought it for that, and it ran like shit on the Series X. It was like 25 FPS,
Yeah.
and it would crash. And then people were like, it's really bad on last gen, and I was like, let me try it on my One X. And it literally was like 5 to 10 FPS, and it would crash twice as often. Like it was literally not playable on the last gen, but they were still selling it there. It was fucking wild the state that game came out in.
Yeah, I never suffered that. My PS4 Pro handled it fine. My PS5 preferred it, but ray tracing on PS5, it was like 15 frames, 20 frames. Ray tracing is a no-go. Absolutely not an option. And to get us out of Karl land, Repo, way. I'm playing a lot of Repo, like an obscene amount of Repo. I know, Will, you played it over on Save Data Team. I don't know when the video is coming out, but the video's done. I edited it, I swear. Repo is such a fun game. Will may talk about this later. But Repo, it takes Lethal Company, which Lethal Company is great. I really enjoyed Lethal Company, but it takes it and it's like, okay, I don't care about this game being scary. You're with your friends, you're having fun. That's why you're playing this. So let's just tune up the goofiness. And like, let's give you like actual cool upgrades. Like you're not just walking around buying guns and flashlights. Like you're buying strength upgrades. You can buy the occasional gun, but it's more of a danger to you than it is to the things you're trying to shoot. And it's just fun. It's just pure fun. That's all I have to say about that game. Pretty good.
Yeah, Repo. I'll talk about Repo now. I've also been playing an obscene amount of Repo. Karl, you should play Repo with me.
Hell yeah.
It's very fun. We've been doing, my friend group from back home, we've been doing runs in it, and we've gotten to, I think it's mission 5 or 6 I think we're on now, and we've stopped because like getting to mission 6 is like a good maybe hour and a half run.
Yeah.
The nice thing is when you exit a run, it saves, so you can just go back into it later, which I really appreciate. But yeah, overall, in Lethal Company, like there's still a couple moments in Repo where like if you're by yourself, it's a little spooky. But I have that confidence I've seen in like watching people stream it and stuff, where it's just like, oh, I can jump up, run past this monster and do that sort of stuff. Where in Lethal Company, I would get scared, leave the building, and just sit in the ship and like wait for it to finish.
Yeah, those monsters are those monsters in Lethal Company are lethal.
So there's monsters in this game, and there's ones that like are really annoying, and there's ones that are a little bit spooky, but like and you'll still get the occasional like because you'll turn around and there'll be a monster or something, but it's more fun, and it's in that sort of goofy way, so it's less like, I guess, panic attack inducing. But it is quite a fun game, and like Karl said, the upgrades and all that sort of stuff really add to it, and help later in the game. The new update 1.3, they haven't announced when it's coming out yet, but they keep putting dev videos up where the Repo character interviews the media, like the communications guy. It's just really funny the way they do it. But that's supposed to add like a new map and some new monsters and fix a bunch of glitches. I think they're gonna fix that health glitch, because there's you can grab health packs instead of buying them and just spam the use button while the game loads, and it'll heal you.
Which, hey, thanks for that, because that wasn't audio hell while editing.
Oh yeah.
Zach fucking breaking his EQ was beautiful.
It's good. It's just a good game to play with people. Plus, up to 6 people, and is totally doable with 2, 3. 1 is kind of where I wouldn't. It's not the game for a 1 person.
Yeah,
there is a single player option, but it's like
Karen's been doing that when no one else is playing it. Before she was obsessed with being a drug dealer in Schedule 1. And she was like, it's just not fun doing single player. So Repo, it's good. It's very good. Ian, you want to go?
Yeah. So Will and I have gotten into the habit of every morning we play Armor Reforger for 2 to 3 hours. Which is fun because that's around the time where you get a lot of the European folks on the servers. So we actually been playing with a lot of Brits lately. But I
say it like that.
the Brit.
A lot of Brit twinks. They're hot.
A lot of Brit twinks, a couple bears, a couple zaddies. But it's. I realized what we did, Will, which is that we have made the transition to PvP content, whereas pretty much up to this point, exclusively we only played PvE content in Armor Reforger. But with a lot of these gameplay sessions we've been doing lately, we're playing player versus player, which is, I don't know about you, but it feels like it does kind of drastically change the game.
Yeah, Arma. The worst thing about Arma is the AI is too computer. It's like hard.
Yes.
You can't like sneak up on the AI in Arma really, or they don't need a clear line of sight through bushes and stuff to shoot at you. Really, they like
Yeah.
And so, even though playing against people is arguably harder, it's easier in the sense that you are on the same playing field, which I really prefer now.
In terms of concealment. And also, I noticed that players are not as organized as the AI. And what I mean by that is when we're playing PvE, typically you will fight against either a fire team or a squad. So 4 to 12 AI. So it is rare for you to fight against one AI. It's typically 4 to 12 of them firing at you, and you're having that kind of engagement with them. But with PvP, it's I mean, what would you say the average group size is? 1 to 3 enemy? Because it's usually somebody just soloing trying to take a base, or a very small group of people that have worked together. And it's because, humans playing online, even in a game like this, which heavily encourages teamwork and pretty much everybody's on mic, it's still rare for people to group up larger than for randos to group up in groups larger than 3 people. So it's weird. Like I think you're right. It is more difficult in ways because you're having to fight against dynamic enemies that typically have good accuracy and will flank you. But we've had some success. We've had to we had a really good moment the other morning where basically there was a friendly village and an enemy village, and they were about 600 meters apart. And so we spawned at the friendly village, and we took a jeep to the enemy village, and we hopped out of the jeep, and I think I shot one person, and then we died. And then we did the same thing again, and we died. And even though there was only a couple enemy in that base, it was just like, we were like, okay, we got to mix this up. So we went halfway to the enemy base, so we're 300 meters from it, and we plopped down, and we just start shooting the base over the field. Like, we can barely see them, but if we take out the binoculars, we go, okay, they're in that building, put down the binoculars, and then we're just peppering the building with gunfire. And they start freaking out. So they start shooting back at us. And it goes into this firefight where they're so distracted by us, and all our teammates hear this gunfire, that other randos start joining the fight, and they come up and they're like, where are you shooting? We're like, see white building, 2nd floor. And we're like helping them direct their fire. And then others of our friendlies are moving down into the base because the enemy's not looking at them. They're too worried about us, suppressing them and shooting them from the hillside. And so it became this moment where we ended up over 15, 20 minutes taking that base with like 10 other randos on our team that we had not explicitly squatted up with. But it's because we were like, okay, we're going to use the advantage of this hillside. We're going to like suppress them and distract them. And it was just like this dynamic plan that was never explicitly communicated. But Will and I were the ones that that executed that plan, and it worked really well. And we have all these cool little moments like that where we're able to, kind of outsmart an actual human on the other side of the computer with tactics and strategy. So I'm having a lot of fun. It's become a habit every morning to play Arma, and I think we should keep it up. How do you feel, Will?
Yeah, it's good. I said this to Ian today after we took a base. After we took a base at night in the pouring rain with awful night vision goggles, I unfortunately think I'm getting good at this game. I held a point, saw a guy come, and I would arguably the biggest hurdle in Arma for everyone is friendly fire.
Yes,
Friendly fire
100%.
is awful, and if you're on a good server, people treat it properly. If you're not, team killing and friendly fire are very different. If you accidentally kill someone, you apologize, whatever. People understand friendly fire. But there's so many situations where people are just like not paying attention to uniforms, and especially on these NATO Russian servers we're on, people have armbands, which is super helpful. If you don't know the sort of costumes, so the Russians have red, NATO has blue. So there's been times where I'm finally at the point where I can look at someone and like I'll try to see the armband for the confirmation, but most of the time I'm pretty good. At night with night vision, you cannot tell who these guys are.
Yep.
And so I've gotten the habit of I crouch down, hit my map, check the 360 around me where there's friendlies, and mark them out in my mind, and then close the map, know what direction I'm looking. So this guy just silhouetted into the barn, just shot him, took him out, ran over. This car fell into a trench. Guy got out, tagged him, and I was just like, oh man, that felt like a fucking YouTube moment. I have been recording these sessions and I just stopped, and now I'm pissed at myself because this would have made a good somewhat highlight video or something. I need to start recording.
I will say, to your point about friendly fire and PvP, that for me is the most frustrating part of PvP, honestly. Is so Arma tries to be realistic. So by default, friendlies will have a nameplate above them if you look at them and they're within 100 meters, right? But also by default, and there's some servers that run mods that change this, you don't see your location on the map, and you only see other squad leaders' location on the map, but you don't see all your friendlies on the map. So it creates a situation where if you're doing your job properly, like Will's saying, when you see somebody, you don't immediately shoot them. You need to pause, look at them, look at the uniform, and try and figure out, is that a friendly or not? A lot of people online don't do that. So I don't know if you would agree with this number, Will, but I feel like 20% of the time when you die, it is friendly fire.
Yeah.
It is actually a friendly shooting you and not an enemy.
Yeah, or at least go down. I've even yesterday I shot a guy right outside the window, realized he was friendly, walked over, healed him up, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And he's like, yeah, no worries. Most of the time people don't care. Ian and I got really heated. So heated, I told Karen about it. Is this guy was just outside of a base, clearly got some sort of Hummer or whatever. We're in the middle of fucking Afghanistan. Got this Hummer with this big Gatling gun on it, Mr. Big Dick, just shooting the Gatling gun at the base that we're all trying to take over, and just keeps killing me. He killed Ian. He shot at me. All these different people. I'm like,
but worse
dude.
than that, to be clear, we come across the guy. He's pointing at the base. I think I talked to him, and then we spent 5 minutes walking the 100 meters in front of him, so he saw us the whole time. We go to a building, we clear the building, we come out, and he lights me the fuck up. And then Will comes over to try and heal me, and he lights Will up too. And it was like, that's fucking terrible. We talked to you and walked in front of you the whole time. That was zero awareness, you know?
Yeah, because even if we hadn't talked to him, it would have been one thing. Say we went and took that base today, and there was two helicopters coming over. There's a Little Bird and another Russian helicopter just bombarding this place. We took out the AA gun so they weren't getting taken down, and we just get on platoon chat and go, hey, heli's in the area, there's friendlies inside this base, whatever the name of it was, we're taking it over right now. And they're like, okay, fine. If they came in after that and shot at us, I'd be pissed. Or I wouldn't be pissed, but I'd be like, dude, check your fire, please. But as long as you communicate 95% of the time, it's not an issue. But it's these people who are I don't know if some of them it's a team killing thing, and some of them
I think it's just they have no guilt about it, so it's just no matter what they see, they shoot, right?
Yeah.
So they don't even consider friendly fire to be bad. They're not doing it deliberately, but from my perspective, as somebody who just spent 15 minutes going across the map to get to this objective, and I'm pushing in a tactical way to it, to suddenly die to friendly fire, it's like, check your fucking fire.
Come on, man.
Like I did not surprise you. I'm on the map. I walked past you. It's not a surprise. I think you're right. It's not deliberate team killing, but it's just like willful ignorance with friendly fire, and it's like, fuck off with that, man.
Yeah, nightmare. But it's great overall. I like playing it every day. It's just, it's good. It's good. And matches.
No other game like it.
Not to talk about more Arma, but there's just so much to do when you get on a server. You can run supplies. You can build out bases. You can go on a 2-man killing spree.
Yeah.
You can go with a group of people.
We've been doing
truck.
helicopter stuff. I learned to fly a helicopter good enough to fly it and land it. So we did a little bit of that, of like transporting people. Yesterday we did a match where for about 30 minutes I was flying around, Will was manning the gun. So we were like spotting enemy, taking them out, and then once the base was clear, I'd land and Will would hop out and cap it, and then he'd hop back in the helicopter. So it's I still want to build a mortar pit and just start slamming an enemy base with mortars. Like you're totally right. There's so much to do in here. It's really cool.
It's a great game.
Yeah. Speaking of a great game, I finally played it, folks. Halo 3 ODST.
Woo.
I never played this at launch. I think when I looked it up, I think I was at college or something when it came out. So it's always been on my list. I've been playing it. Will, are you the one who said this is your favorite Halo game? I feel like I've heard somebody say that before.
It's whenever it comes up, it is. And then if Halo 3 comes up, that's my favorite Halo game. And then if like Halo 1 comes up, that's probably my favorite. But honestly, Halo 3, Halo ODST, that's when I was in high school, middle school, high school, playing games with my multiplayer games with my friends online. So that's why it's my favorite Halo.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I've been playing this for the past week. I finished it today. I'm so upset that I did not play this game earlier because, folks, this game is not aging well. If you have any interest in playing this game, you need to play it right now. And let me tell you why. Because so I can see why people loved it so much when it came out, because it has kind of a hub world aspect to it where you are basically roaming the streets and coming across. I don't think there's actual side quest. I think it's just like side intel, but you're going through these streets, coming across random enemy patrols to get to a location to trigger a flashback, and that flashback is a mission, right? And that's really cool when the game came out. And going back and playing it now, it's like this hub world sucks because there's not much to do there. When the enemies are dropped, it's just like a patrol. The location sucks because all the streets look the same. So you're just kind of like, even though you're going through the same spaces the whole time, it's like the fucking Silent Cartographer all over again, where it's just like the same fucking hallways. And the missions themselves are fun, but it feels like a showcase of Halo, where they're like, we're going to have a Warthog mission, we're going to have a Banshee mission, we're going to have a sniper mission. And the missions aren't bad, but it's like, if I want to do that, I Halo Master Chief Collection, I would go back and play, the last mission from Halo 1 if I wanted a Warthog mission, it's so you can go, if you're craving that type of mission, you can go find a better example of it outside of ODST. The story's pretty cool, and I do think it probably has some of the best storytelling in the Halo series, but it's just the package as a whole where you're spending the like boring runs in the hub world to get to the next mission, which is pretty short and is like a good Halo mission, but none of them are like great Halo missions. So it is aging poorly. I don't think it's a bad game. I think when it came out, it probably hit a lot harder than it does now. But especially now that we have Halo Infinite, which has its problems, but is a much, much better open world Halo game than Halo 3 ODST. It's what made ODST unique at the time is rapidly no longer unique. It doesn't hit quite as heavily. So that's why I'm glad I played it. If anybody wants to play it now. It's just getting older. So just go ahead and play it. It's not a bad game by any stretch, but it definitely feels like, I don't know if you guys can think of games like this where when it came out, it felt so unique and it hit so hard, but now going back to it, it's aged too much and it's not that good. Like I think Skyrim is one of those, honestly. like the you could pick up everything has gone away because games are like, it actually sucks having to fucking being able to pick up anything and you don't know what's important. You have to juggle your inventory the whole time. And these like oh, these side quests can trigger at any moment randomly, and it's like, well, there's really actually not enough of them, and people want curated content, So those types of games that hit real hard when they came out, but are not quite aging well because we've moved beyond that, and they're not. It's not like Katamari Damacy where it's like so unique that it will always be unique and worth playing. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. My one question is, do you think it's also, it's like the DLC itself has aged, and like you said, but do you think it's also because like the Master Chief Collection in and of itself is like what, 15 years old? How old is that? Yeah. Do you think that's
No,
also
Master
in play?
Chief Collection's not 15 years old.
Or like the game and the like most of the games in the Master Chief Collection?
Oh no. Because like if you go back and play Halo 2 and Halo 3 or Halo 1, like those missions are still the banger missions are still bangers. It's that Halo 3 ODST for half of the game, the hub world has like, it feels like it has no design to it. And what I mean by that is what makes Halo missions really good is that they're linear and they're very well designed encounters, right? There's ups and downs and there's predefined like combat encounters. The hub world, I believe the way they drop enemies and where they drop them is planned, but it really just feels like you're going through the street and then you're like, oh, 5 jackals, let me kill those guys, and then I'll keep walking down the street. Like the hub world encounters are not good at all. They don't feel designed or crafted at all like the best Halo missions are.
You're definitely right. It is a thing of the time. Like it was originally DLC for Halo 3. I think it was Halo 3 Recon.
Yeah.
And then it became its own game. And it was definitely like, hey, we have this side story and this hub world idea, and we just want to tell it and put it out. It's completely different from anything else. Halo, really.
Yeah.
And I think that is what it lends itself to. Like, you're totally right that hub world and stuff was awesome at the time, and it was fun to just like walk around. Like that was the dream. That was the realized thing of like that Halo 2 city, like going in the city.
Yeah, Halo
like
world.
Seeing all the lore, ODST troopers. And this whole team, and it's almost like it's sort of what Reach ended up being. That it's same sort of like team story, but they told it with ODSTs, and so that was really fun. But you're totally right. Like nowadays, there would be like little side missions during night. There would be some character you would go to every night to check in on something. There'd be like like other elements and stuff like that. So I totally agree. The other nice thing when that game came out is it had that firefight mode was awesome. The horde mode, like that was a huge draw for ODST.
That came out with
ODST. With ODST.
Gotcha.
And that was awesome. So I played a lot.
But to your point, Karl, like the actual combat still feels amazing. Like Halo is one of the best aged games in terms of how it feels and plays. Like all the Halo games, going all the way back to Halo 1. They don't age in terms of how they feel. With ODST, it's more that what made it unique doesn't feel unique anymore and is not enough of a draw. On top of also the missions are okay. So it's what made it unique and compelling, you can get in better places elsewhere in the Halo series now.
Was ODST not a DLC?
No, it was a separate game.
No, I think it was like, but it was like a $40 game, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god! What?
Might have been cheaper. I got it early. That's my memory of Halo 3 ODST. It showed up like 2 days early. I was fucking pumped.
Nice.
Huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
The other game I've been playing, I need to catch up on my podcast. I got a lot of time on my hands now. So I've been playing WoW. I pop into WoW like every year and a half, every 2 years probably.
Nope.
Just as like
Nope.
What?
Nope. What's WoW stand for?
Problem?
What's WoW stand for? You have to tell me. Legally.
You know what WoW stands for.
What does it stand for, Ian?
It stands for World of Warships.
Clearly. You're the worst.
God damn it.
Look, I dance with these games every now and then, like War Thunder and World of Warships, and even Enlisted. And the problem with these games is that it is a yin and a yang, right? It turns out they've made fantastic combat, and it feels very cool with tanks and planes and warships in this one. The problem is that it is saddled to one of the worst, like free to play, pay to grind dozens of currency system that I've ever seen, and they're all pretty much the same across it. I looked it up yesterday. There's like 8 different currencies in World of Warships. It's fucking wild, and it's a grind.
Wait, let me guess. The American dollar.
I'll look it up real quick.
Gold, Nazi gold, the franc, the Reichmark, racism, secret documents, and I don't know what the last one is. Rubles.
Oh shit! I would show you, but apparently the Wargaming wiki is down right now.
Oh, Fandom's Wargaming wiki.
Oh.
Oh no.
No, I don't think it's a fandom. Okay, here we go. Okay, you ready? There are credits, which are the main in-game currency used to purchase and repair warships. Okay. There's 3 types of experience. There's experience for the ship. So the more you use a ship, you get that experience for that ship, which helps you upgrade that ship. There's commander experience, which helps you upgrade the commander that has been assigned to the ship and give him skills and bonuses. And then there's free experience, which is not linked to any specific ship or commander, but you can spend free experience like it's normal experience, but it's like a bad conversion rate. So it's weird. You also have doubloons, which are for winning ranked battles, and you can exchange that for real money. You also have economic bonuses, which are like XP boost, credit boost, free experience boosts. You also have flags, now that I think about it, which you can mount to your ship to give them boosts. There's also oil, which is earned by clans for clan actions. You also have coal, which is used for various in-game items like premium and special ships. And you also have steel. You also have research points, community tokens, and temporary resources. So yes, all of those. And to play the game, you basically need to use on a daily basis like 6 of those. It's fucked. It's very, very fucked. And the grind is bad, folks. The grind is bad. So you're constantly you constantly want to put real money into the game to get these like 700% XP boosts to reduce the grind. Here's the problem though.
Daddy grinds.
It's so much fun playing this game. It's so fucking good playing this game because basically it actually really is. I may do a stream of it. It's third person ship combat. So right now I'm on tier 5. So the tier is basically like how dangerous the ship is, and they try and like if you hit random battle, they'll put like tier 1 and 3 together and stuff like that. So I'm on tier 5, and I have a cruiser, which basically has like 8 guns on it and a little bit of torpedoes, and I have a little bit of armor, and I have a little bit of speed, and I can shoot 12 kilometers. Or no, 12 nautical miles. So basically you're third person playing this ship, and then you're like looking on the horizon, and then you spot a ship, and then you're trying to launch the artillery and line it up with the ship. So you're having to lead the ship. And then if you get close enough, you're trying to launch torpedoes and like spread the torpedoes. But then there's other ship types. So like if you want to go slower, but shoot a lot heavier, almost like a sniper, they have battleships, which I fucking hate the battleships because the battleships have like a 25-second reload time, but they shoot much farther and they hit much harder. So it's like a boom, wait 25 seconds, adjust your shot, and then another hit, and it sucks. They have destroyers, which are much smaller. They're much quicker. They're much more agile. They have barely any armor, but they have a fuckload of torpedoes, and they have smoke screens. So it's typically like at the start of a match, these multiplayer matches are typically like 10v10, and it's like capture areas around the map, and there's islands you can use as cover. But the destroyers were like dart out, like lay a shitload of torpedoes at the enemy, pop a smoke screen, and retreat. And from the other side, you don't see much. Maybe you see the smoke screen, and all of a sudden there's fucking torpedoes in the water blowing you out of the water. So you're having to like dodge the torpedoes in between the torpedo spread. There are aircraft carriers. And if you're an aircraft carrier, you park at the edge of the map, you deploy your squadron of planes, and then you control the planes. So you have like 4 torpedo bombers that you're like moving towards an enemy ship, dodging the flak, and then like laying torpedo runs in the water. Like it actually plays really fucking good. it's just a pain in the ass how much of a grind it is and having to deal with all these currencies. And it's the same as fucking War Thunder. It's the same as Enlisted, where they have somehow built a game that feels really good and is also a fucking pain in the ass to play outside of the game. It sucks. It sucks because, like I said, every year and a half I come back, I play this for a couple days, I have fun, but then I have to put it down because I realize, oh, I'm getting nowhere with this game. And it's and every time I log in the game, it's 20 clicks just to get outside of the economy screens asking me to buy this, buy that, containers, transformer tie-in, all this shit. It's a fucking mess. I may stream it one of these days because it is a lot of fun. It's really fun to play. So if you're into ships, I would recommend it, but don't spend any money on it. But play it. It's fun.
It'd be great if someone like cracked a like offline version of it, where you could just give yourself all the currencies and stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be neat.
So people have done that with War Thunder, specifically with the plain version. And the reason why I know that is I get all these TikToks of people being like, "Hey, how many?" They're like, "Hey, how many B-17 World War II bombers would it take to take out like a modern US aircraft carrier?" And then they load in a modded version of the game and they have like 100 B-17s loaded with bombs. And they're just like going at this carrier, and the game's beautiful, right? So they're just using a modded version to run through all these like crazy scenarios. And it's so cool to see that. Like, again, the underlying game and the mechanics and the playing, fucking amazing. One of the best naval games I've ever played. It feels so good. Same with tanks with War Thunder. Same with the planes with War Thunder. It's literally just the shit ass economy they've built around it that ruins that game. Basically, it's wild.
How many bombers did it take?
I don't remember. You should look it up, because then the algorithm will know you like that, and then you'll just get those all the time. It's fucking great. It's amazing.
Well, don't.
It's worth it.
I'm Googling big bootied battleships.
Big booty battle
booties. Speaking of big booties, folks, I played a lot of games the past 2 weeks. I have destroyed DEI. It is done. That is Dante's excellent Inferno. What a wonderful game. Over too soon, I would say. We've talked about this on multiple different streams. I think it feels like they had a lot more ideas and a broader story that I think would make a more full-fledged game. I think this game is in dire need of a remaster. I think there's, and I've dabbled in this, I think there's room for like a cool remake. I don't totally think it needs the full God of War 2018 treatment, but I think a remake to a modern action game like that would be cool. Because overall the vibes and the like talking to Virgil as you go into every level of hell and fighting the enemies and fighting the bosses and the design of everything is awesome, but it just needs to be like, hey, let's make this a giant room we're in, not JPEGs on the wall depicting a giant room, and all that stuff. Yeah, it was fun. It was a really cool game, and I'm glad I played through it. That is another game. I would say its visuals are aging, but I think you could play it today and it's still, I played it today and it was still perfectly fine. There was nothing in it that I was like, oh, they used to do this with 360 games and now I have to wait. Like, it was great, and it quick resumed every single time as well. So it was great. Awesome. The Oblivion remaster is out, folks. They announced that. This is not to bring up the argument, but I saw 2 articles when this was announced, and both of them basically said the Elder Scrolls V Oblivion remaster has been announced, and it looks like an incredible remake. And like, it was literally in the article, people just being like, let's be clear, this is a remake, and they fucked up the title on this. No, it's a remaster. It's not a remake.
Oh my god.
It's not. It's definitely a remake.
It is not a remake. It is the original Elder Scrolls Oblivion engine with Unreal 5 on top of it. It is not a remake.
Is that so? I heard that, but I don't I don't think that's true.
It is okay, so even if that's not true,
Wait. But like, walk me through it. So you're saying it is a completely different engine running inside Unreal Engine 5, is what you're saying?
From what I'm aware of, yes. It is acting and reacting. If you just told me I was playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion on my PC with a texture mod, I would 100% believe you, because that is exactly how it feels.
No, I get that, but the idea of using Unreal Engine 5 just to emulate another engine, that's wild.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's wild.
But it is 1,000% not a remake. Like, a remake to me is completely changing the game and adding new things to it, making it like the Dead Space remake.
We don't need to have this argument.
Or the God of War.
We should have a stream though. We should have a stream where we clearly define it. No, God of War was a reboot, not a remake.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was a reboot. Completely different idea.
Yeah.
Actually, probably a sequel, honestly.
Continuation. Yeah, it was a sequel, yeah.
Yeah, I would say sequel.
Yeah. So the Oblivion...
But doesn't Oblivion... Sorry not to cut you up, but like, does it do the same thing where like, I assume this was the case for Oblivion because it was the case for Skyrim, but like where there's an obscene amount of like, not obscene, but it's like loading screens when you go from like mini area to mini area. Is that still the case, or did they also change that?
That's just Bethesda.
It's still the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're faster, but they're about as fast as the 360 version on the Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I would just say,
okay.
I was thinking about Remaster and how the music industry uses it. And typically in the music industry, a remaster is they take the original analog recording and they re-clean it and re-release it and retrack it or whatever. So it's still the same original recording, but they have like digitally remastered it or done a different conversion process. So for me in video game terms, that means like up-resing. Like you may have changed the engine, but you're still using the same assets and up-resing. Whereas this feels like this is definitely completely fucking different assets.
Yeah, it's just if you played on a screen both the original Oblivion and this back and forth, I don't think you would be able to tell the difference between them, other than the graphics and the movement feels a little bit different. I've noticed the movement in Oblivion. When you let go of the stick for moving, you like drift forward a little bit, or like in the direction versus the original you stop. But yeah, this
is much more than the Mass Effect trilogy Legendary Edition that came out recently. Like that to me is a remaster because there were little quality of life enhancements, but it's basically the original shit running at 4K. And they combined them down into like the 2 and 3 engine instead of going back to the Mass Effect 1 engine. But that is like much more closer to the original than this Oblivion is to the original.
So I would call this a high-end remaster then. It's just remake to me screams meddling with the game. And this game has not been meddled with.
I think that's a reboot though. I think that's a reboot. Yeah.
Not necessarily, because
No,
like if
I
you
don't
take a
think
look at the Shadow Colossus thing, it became a remake.
But
it did become like a remake at the end.
God of War 2018 would be a remake if there was a God of War game with the exact same story that they remade it. It's a reboot because it's a different version of God of War, but it's also a different story.
No, but you just said remake and reboot. The same when you
I know, I'm
about
saying
God of War
2018 would have been, I would call it a remake if it was based on a game with that same story in the old God of War style, if there was one of those. But they didn't remake one of those. They made a new God of War game in a different style, so it's a reboot of God of War.
I think God of War is a bad example, though, because I think Karl's right. It is a sequel.
Yeah.
It's a continuation.
Right, but it's a reboot of the series as a whole.
I would consider Final Fantasy VII
a remake.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
To be, that's a reboot. Final Fantasy VII is a reboot because they drastically changed things and drastically added a shitload of stuff. That's a reboot and not a remake.
Yeah, I guess reboot to me doesn't have any of the old stuff in it.
No, reboot for me, I keep going back to the new Total Recall movie, right? Which it shares a lot of the same ideas as the original Total Recall movie, but it's doing something different. That's a reboot to me. Whereas
Yeah.
like and Final Fantasy VII Remake for me is a reboot because they're doing something different and they've added a shitload of stuff that was not there before. Remake is between a reboot and a remaster where it's like, hey, it's mostly the original stuff, but it's not just up-resing it or bringing it to a modern console. It is doing more than just that. And with this Oblivion remaster, they did a lot more than just that. This is not just Oblivion running on the Xbox at 4K or whatever.
But if they had changed anything about the systems, I'd be way more apt to agree with you.
They did.
But
they did.
But there's nothing changed about the systems. Other than
they did.
like a
Didn't
bit
they-
of the
didn't they change-
leveling.
They changed the leveling, didn't they add like sprinting and shit? And
But all of that is quality of life changes. It's not like they went in there and was like, here's a whole new way of doing the quests. Here's a whole new way of how NPCs interact with each other. Here's like different, like if they were remaking this game, they would not have loading screens between all the areas. If they were remaking this game, they would have changed all the voice actors. They would have redone all the dialogue. They would have told it in a tighter story. They would have fixed fast travel. They would have done so much stuff to this game if they were remaking it.
So I think you're right then. It is pushing the boundaries of a remaster.
For sure. It is a well done, great remaster. It is not just a 4K upres and stuff like that. It's not a bottom tier. But it is. I can tell no difference between playing it and playing the original Oblivion, which is why I feel so strongly it's not a remake. It's the same thing.
That's fair.
Do you think it's worth getting it instead of the main game?
I was thinking that to myself as I was playing it, and as much as I like this and the quality of life changes, if I were to replay Oblivion, I think I would just play the original Xbox 360 one.
Really? Compared to this?
I just love.
Is that you? Is that you, or is that the advice?
I think that's mostly me, but I just don't. I guess if you're playing Oblivion for the first time, go with the remaster, I guess. But I think you could go with either one and have the same experience. I don't think the remaster does anything crazy that you need to be playing that version of it, unless you're just like unless you can't play a game that looks like a 360 game, if you're that staunchly against that, then I guess play the remaster. But if you want to play a like 6.8 gigabyte game for like $2 probably, I would just play Oblivion. It's as far as the experience you're going to have, it's going to be probably almost the same. Minus a few like archaic things. But even the map in the new remaster has all the complaints I have about the original, which is in the original map also they made it worse. But in the original map, you have this little cursor that you have to like push to the edge of the map to move the map around, and it's in this tiny window on a 360 game, so it's just like And then that's the tab, and then the next tab over is the local map, which is great because you can like see the local stuff. And you barely ever use the local map in a Bethesda game anyways, but you use it for like in dungeons and stuff. But in the new game, the map is much wider now, but they kept the cursor thing, which is annoying. I don't know why I can't just move the map around with one stick and like do the cursor with the other one. And then on top of that, if you want to see the local map, you have to zoom in as far as you can go and then click it again one more time and it pops into the local map. And that's every single time you want to look at the local map. So it's not just like a quick tab over. And that is frustrating to me. It's annoying. But overall,
that sounds annoying.
It's good. If you want to play Oblivion, play it. They kept the characters look fucked up in a fucked up Unreal Engine 5 way, which I really appreciate. Because they were fucked up in the original and now they're just more fucked up. They kept like acting mistakes, which is really funny. They kept all sorts of stuff in the game, so I'm looking forward to slowly playing through it more. It'll be probably my quick resume game for a while. I'll just pop back into Oblivion and go through it. I still have never played the Shivering Isles, which I started on the original Oblivion, so maybe I'll finally finish it in the remaster. But don't get me wrong, it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous in this remaster. Some of the characters look great. Some of the humans look great. The lip sync is actually quite good. For
Oh.
games, I've noticed a lot recently. Lip sync in video games is terrible. I almost want just flapping mouths that
Yeah.
don't match the
Yeah.
thing, but match when someone's talking, because I just think that looks better. Because the animation technology has gotten really good and the audio technology has gotten really good, but the syncing technology has not gotten very good. So
Yeah. Well, the problem is, because I'm remembering my time at ZeniMax Online, we're in this space where you can't have people manually rig the mouths anymore. There's too much content, and if you're going to underpay your employees, you certainly can't have somebody who's just going to rig mouths all the time, right? But we're not, and so all this tech is coming out, third party and in-house, which is like, oh, we can just dynamically have their mouths moved based on the line that's being read, and we'll just come up with mouth shapes. The problem is that tech's not good enough yet. So we're in this weird period where it's like nobody wants to manually rig it, but the auto rigging in most games is not good. So to your point, it's surprising when you get a game where you're just like, oh, this is actually lining up very well. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always like, and you know why, like, because it's like sometimes some stuff doesn't render at the exact same time and all that sort of technology. It's just like, oh, come on. But yeah, Oblivion, it's good. Go check it out. Quick hit here, latest co-op game here in the Crosby household, Adios Amigos. This game's awesome. You spawn on a planet with up to 4 people. You walk around the little planet, then you get in your spaceship and you fly off your planet, and you're in a solar system with a sun and a number of planets. And then you can go to the other, and this is all like Outer Wilds gravity wise. It is a 2D flat game, but it is Outer Wilds, like sort of realistic gravity. So you fly to the other planets, you're getting points for finding little creatures on the planets, you're picking up more fuel so you can fly your ship longer. You're picking up more parts for your ship, hats, and upgrades and like different types of ships. And then you're warping to another solar system and you're doing more of that. And it's just like a cute, well-responsive flying game. Either one of us can fly the ship, run around the planets, do stuff. It is super fun and weird. We made it to a space station, and then in the space station, we accidentally turned on one of the engines of it, so it started spinning wildly and crashed into the sun, and we lost the game. It's a run-based like roguelike game, so yeah, we've just been playing that a bunch. It is so fun. It was $2.99 on the Xbox Spring Sale. Highly recommend picking it up. I don't know if I put it on the Extra Life list, but it would be a great like not boring, but like time passing Extra Life game.
Gotcha.
Just to go through stuff. It's fun. That is Adios Amigos. And finally, folks, the game that everyone's been talking about, 33 Immortals, the game in which you and 32 of your best friends go into Expedition Clair Obscura Expedition 33 is the real
33 Immortals
game.
is a real video game.
I know it is. I just keep confusing them.
Okay.
Expedition 33 Immortals. I know it's you and 32 of your friends go into a portal. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 rolls off the tongue like Advil. It is a JRPG by French people. I don't know if you know this. Do you guys know this?
FRPG.
It's a fuck RPG.
RPG.
No, I said, yeah. Or an ERPG.
European.
Erpg.
Only.
Only.
Wow.
Hey, this game's fucking awesome.
I know. I'm excited to start it, but I had to finish ODST first.
Fucking awesome. There's an Ian thing in it that might upset you, but you can get past it, bud. I know you can. You'll be able to, and I know you can.
Let's see. Depends on how good the rest of the game is.
This game is fucking awesome. I love it so much. I play way too much of it. I'm 21 hours in, and I want to be deeper. It is just so fun. It is definitely feels like a game made on a budget. So to set this all up, actually, I don't want to set this all up. The intro prologue of this game is fucking sweet, so I'm not going to set up any of it. But you are on an expedition to a new continent, or to not a new continent, to an area, and you're investigating it. And shit goes down. JRPG-wise, in battles, it's turn-based. You are each character that you have has like different powers, or like different way of accruing power to fight. So like May what's her name? Mayel? Whatever her name is, has like Gustav has overcharge. So as you are blocking attacks, parrying attacks, and making attacks, you are earning points in your overcharge thing to use your overcharge ability. So you can spend those points whenever you want, but if you save it all the way up to 10, you can do like a really big punch and hit the enemy really hard. Another character has a perfection. So like they keep building points up to S rank for not getting hit at all. And I've gotten up to S rank a couple times. Other characters do like elemental based stuff. So like, I can this ability lets me do this magical attack, but if I also have a red element to spend, it'll add extra damage. And each character sort of has a variation of that sort of system. It's a little intimidating at first, but you end up sort of getting in a sort of flow state with it, where there's like one or two characters I really still don't understand what they are or quite what they're doing. But the other ones I've really nailed down. The big system that I don't think it's divisive, but I was certainly getting used to it, and I think a lot of other people were as well. When the enemy attacks you, you have to dodge or parry their attack, or you take damage. So it's not as bad as it sounds. In a regular JRPG, if something attacks you, you take damage. So this game just allows you the opportunity to dodge or parry. The dodge, I will give you one piece of incredible advice, which is the dodge window is much larger than the parry window. And the parry window is there's like these little like whoosh noises, and that is the parry noise. There's also the noise I use to dodge. I mostly dodge. I rarely parry unless I know an enemy's attack pattern very well. So far, there's a lot of enemies that use very similar attack patterns. When you are fighting bosses and when you're fighting things, you can learn those attack patterns pretty great. There's also a jump encounter. There's different types of dodging and stuff they add. They add this cool gravity attack. I think it's called a gravity attack, that are like these even bigger counters. But this whole dance of the combat is like, oh, he's about to swing at me, but then the jump counter icon pops up. So I got to make sure to jump and then counterattack that. Or he's going to swing at me and then it goes in slow motion. So it's this other sort of attack. So there's this real dance of the combat where you're like, once it's the end of your turn, you can't just like sit back and go on your phone while the enemy takes a turn. You have to pay attention, get ready to dodge.
Always active.
That really makes that stuff cook by. The other nice thing is when you die, when you have less than 3 characters, when you die, it's like failed expedition, but it just loads you like right before that fight. It loads you at the like last like item you picked up or save point you went to, which usually isn't that far from enemies. So it's very easy to like, oh, I'm going to do this fight. Oh, I lost. Oh, but I know how to counter that guy now, or I know how to dodge that guy. So you just get right back into it. So the combat is really fun. That whole dance and is very cool. Outside of the combat, I think the story is really excellent. I've really enjoyed the writing. It's sort of like this, I mean, it's so French, but it's very like the world isn't fully explained, but you're like piecing things together, finding out about these characters, learning about people you meet along the way. I noticed that there's a camp mechanic where you can like spend time with someone, and I didn't realize you could like keep spending time with someone. So I'm just learning so much more about other characters. There's some fucking weirdos too, that are just so amazing. Outside of the like levels, there's an overworld that you run around. That is less hostile than most open open JRPG worlds. It's not random encounters. There's enemies on the map. You can walk up to them. In the levels themselves, they'll if they see you, they'll come after you, and you can hit right bumper to attack them first, and then you get like the first strike. On the overworld map, they really don't follow you or come after you at all. You can like choose to go fight them, earn extra XP. The map is really fun to explore. I think my one big gripe with this game over everything else is this game has like invisible wall syndrome, where it's just like, hey, this looks like an area I could go to, or I could jump to this. Nope, not at all. And then you get to an area and you're like, oh, I can just jump up this thing. Like, that's the way they want me to go.
Yeah, it's not
like,
clear. Yeah.
Hey, I can swim here and get up on this beach, but I can't swim here and get up on this rock that's underwater. Like, so there's like different things like that. And it feels like a crutch where they're like, hey, we designed these awesome levels, but we don't want players to get stuck and fall somewhere, so we just threw up all these invisible walls. And I don't like that, but I see it as like they probably designed this whole game and then they're like, fuck, what are we gonna do about all these people just running around on our map? And so that is kind of my one big gripe. And it's not, I mean, it's a legitimate gripe, but doesn't detract at all from the game for me. But yeah, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's on Game Pass, so definitely play it there. If you have Game Pass, or pay for a month and play it for whatever, $10, whatever it costs. Yeah, it's just super fun. There's also little mini games on the map. There was a volleyball one that was fun. There's an only up one, which was very frustrating. And there's like a parkour one, and like, you remember those old like GTA maps where they'd have you like parkour across like dumpsters?
Yeah.
It's that one like that and everything. And it seemed like everyone on the team had ideas for a little mini game, and they're just like, hey, we'll see how this works with the system that is in this game. Like, maybe the volleyball one, you want to rip your hair out because it's so frustrating, but the other ones are kind of fun, so we just built it anyways. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing it up. How long to beat said 38 hours for the completionist, and I'm already at 21 hours.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that long. That's what I heard, 30 to 40.
So I'm already getting that post-game depression because I really don't want it to end.
Yeah.
This is it. I need to get other people's thoughts on it because it feels like the game's really clicking for me, or this game's easier than a lot of other games, or yeah, like I said, it's clicking for me. But I'm at the point where some of my characters are doing max damage every single hit on some things, and I'm like, are they doing max damage because I'm like playing them right, or are they doing max damage because I'm like overpowered or something like that? Which I don't think I am, because there's some stuff that fucked me up. But I think I've just also figured out, like, when I fight an enemy in this game, figure out its weakness and stick to that. Like, I was in this whole new area with flying enemies, and these flying enemies can dodge basic attacks, but they can't dodge your ranged attacks. So I was like, oh, what if I just use ranged attacks? And then all of a sudden this area just became easy for me. It was just like, oh, just ranged attacks. I set everyone's, like, there's these pictos, which are like your special powers. I set everyone's stuff to being like ranged attack buffs and everything. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing I didn't even touch on, but I'm not going to. Anyways, yeah, Expedition 33, Clair Obscur, terrible name, but go check it out. It's worth it. It's fun. It's really fun. And if you get frustrated with the parrying and the dodging, trust me, it gets easier. There's a lot of easy patterns, and at the end of the day, if you get hit, it's really not a big deal anyways. So,
cool.
Yeah, get over it.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I've got it installed. I'll try it.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for you to play it. I think David from Save Data has been playing it as well.
Yeah.
He I looked at my like stats when I was going to see how many hours I played, and he's number 2 on my friends list behind me. He was at 6 hours. That little poser. Yeah. Anyways, that's the video games, folks. It means it's time for the news. Ian Gibson, our newsie, got out there on the mean streets to get the news.
Yeah. The streets are mean. Two big news stories. Both of them very sad. First of all, it appears that Giant Bomb is ending for all intents and purposes. Long story short, there's been a large disagreement between the Giant Bomb team and their owners at Fandom over the last couple weeks, apparently around live stream content and what is appropriate or not appropriate for live streams. And essentially, they've been told they're not allowed to do live streams anymore because they cannot meet brand guidelines, which are PG-13 or less. That's led to a large disagreement. Jeff Grubb and Dan Reichert have both left Giant Bomb as of today. Other members, it appears that some of the contractors have been let go or told they won't be getting future work either. And for some of the people who are still there, I don't think it's a stretch to say it sounds like they are also on the way out, but not officially yet. The Giant Bomb social and website appears to have been taken over by Fandom. They posted a message a couple hours ago of just absolute sheer bullshit saying, hey, we understand there's some confusion, but we'll have information soon about the new creative direction of the site. The rumors behind the scenes are that they want to turn it into just a guide site, a written guide site. Man, fuck, this sucks, right? Like, I don't know how close you guys are to Giant Bomb, but Giant Bomb is the reason that Subpixel exists, basically, for me. I got into Giant Bomb in 2015, and I really wanted to join Giant Bomb one day. And they had opened up for new employees a couple times. And in the process of applying for them, I realized my resume was weak. I didn't have anything to show as part of like games media or games commentary. And that led me down the path to work at our prior site, which led me to meet Will, Jake, and Kyle, which led to Subpixel. Like, we would literally not be here right now doing this show if it wasn't for Giant Bomb. Will, I know you've got similar thoughts about Giant Bomb and what it means to you.
Yeah, I 1,000% wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for Giant Bomb. My friend Josh, who was on the Waterdeep heist that we did, introduced me to them through the Best of Giant Bomb stuff, and I think I signed up for premium that night, or at least that weekend. My Plex is like probably 3 terabytes of Giant Bomb content that I have downloaded. Mm-hmm. It is awful to hear the end of something. I haven't been keeping up with them the past couple of years, like of their content. I've just been aware of like Dan Riker and Grubb and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I wanted to work for them. I applied for every time they had a position. I finally got a job at GameSpot. I got to work on the Giant Bomb live shoot stream that they did in Brooklyn, and that was dream come true. Which was awesome. One of the greatest moments of my life. And then I left GameSpot and I didn't care because I had achieved what I wanted to do by going there, and it was working for them. And now I cut videos for Nextlander as well, which is super fun. And if you told me even 5 years ago, I'd be talking to Vinny and working with them and doing stuff with Giant Bomb, I wouldn't have believed you. So it's awesome to have done that. And yeah, like Ian said, Subpixel would not be here if it wasn't for Giant Bomb. So this sucks. I know a lot of people over there personally for the time I worked with them, and even people on the GameSpot side. And I've been hearing a lot of bad shit. And Fandom, I had a lot of hope for Fandom because I was there when we were sold to Fandom. And I was like, hey, that's not the worst thing ever. It's way better than Red Ventures, because Red Ventures sucked absolute ass. And I know, and the same, what happened with that sale, Tam took all of us into a Zoom meeting. It was like, hey, we're just all going to hang out here. You can leave, you can come back, whatever you want. And that was the exact same thing I know is probably going on right now. Like, just let's all talk it through, figure out what's happening. And if you don't like it, or like, not if you don't like it like that, but if you disagree with something, stuff like voice your opinion, where like everyone's a team there. And then that's the same thing, like fuck Fandom, but GameSpot, Giant Bomb, Metacritic, all them forever. Fuck Fandom.
Yeah. Karl, you have any experience with Giant Bomb?
I got into it because of Will, actually, like 2023. Whenever that's when I got into it. I was like, oh damn, this is pretty fucking cool, but not nowhere near as deep as y'all. But it fucking sucks, is what it is.
Yeah. And it especially hurts because hearing you talk about it, Will, like they've had periods of Giant Bomb, and in the last 5 years they've had some tumult where, essentially three of they weren't founding members, but three of the strongest members of the team left in, when was that? That was 2020, right? Or early 2021, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They left and founded Nextlander. Jeff Gerstmann stayed behind, who was an original founder. So things were a little bit up in the air. So Jeff Gerstmann kind of had to like keep things going. And he did for a bit, but then he left rather abruptly. And it felt like it's just the quote unquote new people, even though, Jan had been there for years. And it felt like they were kind of given an impossible task of keeping Giant Bomb alive when the 4 people that have always been Giant Bomb had left within the span of a year or two. And they did an incredible job, quite frankly. They brought Dan Reichert back. They got Jeff Grubb there. Seeing Turbo Sean and Nikki Grayson get more involved and their unique and entertaining personalities there. Blight Club, like they have really rebooted Giant Bomb, and I never gave up on them. But there was a period there where I was like, the 4 people I like are gone. Why am I still listening to this? And the answer was because this is still entertaining. And they always kept it entertaining, and it felt like they did an incredible job of making it better and better and better. And kind of like, the original documentary was called How to Build a Bomb, or How to Build the Giant Bomb, I think was the title, which was a documentary about them originally creating the site. And these last couple of years felt like how to rebuild a Giant Bomb, because they really did have to rebuild after these huge changes, with a lot of the fan base saying, this is not my Giant Bomb, I'm not going to watch them anymore. But they have built something that is very, very faithful to what Giant Bomb was, but at the same time is something unique and on its own now. And it felt like they were in a really good place. And then fandom comes in and fucks them up because they just completely misunderstand the business model of the fan base.
I don't understand how they can be like, oh, we own this website. Website's super popular. Website must be super popular because website name. So destroy website name still popular, we change website to what we want, people still visit website. Like that, nobody is going to go to giantbomb.com for anything.
Yeah. But I think part of it is, I don't think giantbomb.com and the Giant Bomb content, quite frankly, I don't think is that popular. It's almost like Escape from Tarkov, where it's like it has its fan base, and that is a dedicated fan base, but it's not necessarily getting larger, right? And so for a company that wants to expand, that is constantly plus 10, plus 15% every year, they're not going to get that out of Giant Bomb as it currently is. And that's not a fault of Giant Bomb. That's just the mentality of them. But I think the other thing is, I think they're trying to unify like the brand strategy as they talk about it, which is fandom is like PG-13 at the most, right? And so if they're trying to do that, but at the same time they have this like, hard R over here, hard R rated website called Giant Bomb. I know. I corrected. But it is. It's like
right. Just
at times it's R-rated website. At times it's close to NC-17. Like that's part of it, is they want to be like, you know what? You need to be more in line with the brand so that other parts of the website can advertise Giant Bomb. We don't have to devise different strategies and stuff. So it is absolutely the wrong decision how they are treating this scenario. But I can understand if you are responsible for all of fandom as a portfolio and you look at this little offshoot off to the side, which is not incredibly popular and it's not incredibly a moneymaker, but it's its own little thing doing its own little thing. And you're like, I want that to be just like the rest of this company. Now, how they handle that decision and how they're handling it is completely fucked up, but I can kind of understand where fandom is coming from.
Yeah. Also, just to praise Giant Bomb, I mean, they invented premium subscriptions basically for the sort of Patreon model. They invented Let's Plays, streaming on Twitch.
They were early on podcast.
Very early on podcasts, streaming on Twitch, or like video game content on Twitch, or sort of streaming video game
quick
content,
looks,
not on Twitch. Quick looks, personality based content is like
Yes.
they just pioneered so much stuff that nobody realizes how much they did for the industry. So it sucks.
Yeah.
But hopefully they move on to something. Some of them get out and move on to something more fun.
Yeah, that's the rumor. So be on the lookout. This I don't think this is upsetting, but my one piece of hope, piece of inspiration for everybody is these folks, Grub, Riker, Jan, etc. They have built an online personality. Don't expect them to get a 9-to-5 job after this. They will still be around, whether it's in something new or joining something existing. So you will still get your personality fix. It just will not be the same Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb, for all intents and purposes, is dead. Giant Bomb is not going to make any more worthwhile content going forward, basically. And the new content won't be the same format. It may not be the same 4 folks on a Bombcast every Tuesday, but these people will still be around. Pour one out for Giant Bomb, but Reichert, Grubb, Jan, etc. They're all Bacalar. They're all still there. Just wait for them to announce, land in a new place, and then they'll be there to entertain and for you to support them, which you absolutely should.
Man, think of all the podcast listeners they just lost. And think of all the podcast listeners who don't go to Giant Bomb. They just listen to the podcast, and there's not a new podcast. Like,
yep.
It's just crazy. Anyways,
so I was thinking about it. My recommendation to folks, I will probably do this in the next couple of days as this news becomes clear and it becomes more definitive that Giant Bomb, as we know it, is dead and is being cannibalized by fandom, is go unsubscribe from them everywhere. Take away from their fucking viewer accounts. Don't go to the website anymore. Unsubscribe on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, the podcast, everything, because that's, get rid of your premium subscription. Yeah. Because they're going to try and pivot to something new. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to say, look, we have this many viewers. We have this many podcast subscribers. Take that away from them. If they're going to cannibalize Giant Bomb, don't let them steal the numbers from the true Giant Bomb fans.
Hell yeah.
That's it. Well, there's one other piece of news. I'm not as close to Polygon, but Polygon was basically Polygon's done. Same as Giant Bomb. Polygon will live, but today it was sold by Vox to, according to Kotaku, a quote click farm powerhouse, ValNet, and much of its masthead has been laid off. That includes the editor-in-chief, as well as deputy editor and games editor. So basically, all the top people at Polygon were laid off as part of this sale. And based on what ValNet has done before, this is probably going to turn into some clickbait, probably with some AI on top of it as well. So Polygon, as you know, it is also pretty much dead. So Polygon and Giant Bomb dead in the same day.
There was links to some article that was like, here's the story of ValNet, the internet sweatshop pioneered by blah, blah, blah. It's just like, oh my God. Oh, yeah, it's fucking sucks.
Yeah, sorry to end the podcast on a downer, but of all the news stories, those are the two that we can't cut because those are cornerstones of modern gaming media, and they both hit the chopping block today. It's been a bad week, folks. For video games.
Gonna, it's always a good time for my yearly rewatch of Steal My Sunshine, so I'll start that tonight. Man,
I think I prefer Burgle My Bananas. That one was
Burgle My Bananas is good, but it descends. You need season 1 to understand season 2 Burgle My Bananas because it descends into ultimate madness.
Sunshine was first.
Sunshine was first. Sunshine is where the insanity started, and then but the Burgle My Bananas, the funky shop.
Oh yeah, he didn't even do the camera angle change.
Kiki and Riki
tried to.
Yeah. And the fucking the GoldenEye Friday, Die Another Friday is also very good. Dan Record playing through that. Anyways, folks, go watch old Giant Bomb on YouTube, not on.
Or honestly, new Giant Bomb 2, a Blight Club where they force each other to play terrible games, is good.
I've really thought about downloading stuff because I did fall out when Next Lander started. I fell off a giant bomb, but I need to go. I've always supported them. I've kept my premium, but
yeah, I stopped watching the videos just because I did not have time. But I have listened to the Bombcast and the Beastcast when it was around since 2015, basically.
Anyways, folks, let's get the fuck out of here. Karl, thank you so much for being here. You're wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Big Karl, we call him. He always is like, oh, if you don't have anyone else, I can join. And I'm like, Karl, you're my heart and soul. If there was anyone else booked, I would have murdered them in their sleep. Excuse me. I love you. I love when you call in. I love when you spank me. I don't know. Shut up. Folks, I can't wait to watch that repo video. Karen and I are very excited to watch it. So please, Daddy Zach,
it's
release
so good.
that. Subpixelfilms.com is where you can't watch that video, but you can go to our YouTube there and Twitch and all that other stuff. I've been your host, Will Crosby.
I'm sorry. I do have some breaking news here.
Oh, God damn it.
It's breaking. It happened 8.5 hours ago, but I just saw it. 1,000 Times Resist, a Subpixel Game of the Year winner from last year, has won a Peabody Award for writing. Good for them. That's fantastic news.
Is that from the...
Play that game, folks.
Isn't Peabody from something? Isn't that a dog?
I think they typically do journalism awards, but I believe they also have awards for like media writing, etc. But 1,000 Times Resist. Go play that, folks. Fantastic game.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in this week. We had the lovely Karl here from Save Data. You can go check him out over at Save Data. Subpixelfilms.com is where you can find all of our beautiful content. That includes me and other things. I have a video coming out soon. I've been lazy about editing it. It's about Doomlings, which is this game right here. So go... Oh, it's backwards for you. Sorry. We will be...
No, it's not.
No, it's backwards for the stream people, not you, stupid idiot. We are in love, madly in love. It's true. We're running away together. Be excited. Tuesday, we're going to have more content, probably more Schedule 1 or something else. And then next Thursday, I'm hopefully going to do some card openings, although the infamous George has contacted me about helping to shoot a reality TV show in the Hamptons. So maybe I'll be doing that. Yeah. Fuck off, everyone. Have a good weekend. Thanks for being here, Campfire Night.
Wow.
Love you.